Cheers, Vinyl community. LJ, what's going on, y'all? Before I get this update started, first, huge sincere thanks to everybody in the vinyl community and otherwise that reached out this week to make sure everything was alright. I just watched Rob Panique's 1960s video and he extended a similar thanks, and to all my Boston brothers and sisters here in the vinyl community that reached out via phone and text message and email, and those even outside the area just that follow my channel that reached out via PM here at YouTube. Just awesome to see everybody pull together and express concern and interest, and thank you all so much. You know, just 30 minutes ago before filming this video, they had the second suspect in custody, and while that's an opportunity to be joyous, definitely for sure, you know, the city's been pretty well gripped in fear and in a real eerie feeling as the whole city's been on lockdown today while they were hunting for him. And you still can't stop and forget everything that happened earlier in the week at the marathon. It's very sad. So it's been a very different week, different feeling here in Massachusetts. So thank you to everybody that reached out. Much appreciated. Everything here is fine. Things are settling back into some sense of normalcy here. So much appreciated, everyone. Thank you. Now on to the update. What's in the background? Check this CD out. Van Zant, My Kind of Country. There's my Southern Rock boys. So you got Ronnie Van Zant and Johnny Van Zant. Ronnie, who fronts Skinner now, of course, and Johnny from 38 Special, put together a CD of their spin on country music. And as you might expect, Southern rock, pumped up, jacked up country music. And it's excellent. Highly recommend anyone check it out. I don't believe it's out on vinyl. This came out in 2007, so 5-6 years ago. Fantastic CD. On the CD trip, these two came from Greeno. He had mentioned he found them, let me know how much he picked them up for, and I was more than happy to adopt them. So yeah, Motorhead, Bomber, and this is the reissue of that. Absolutely fantastic album, and also Iron Fist. So Greeno, thanks so much for letting me know you had found these. They turned up. More than happy with the price. As always, either run a tab or the check's in the mail. We'll figure it out, but Greeno, thanks so much. Another part of a trade / VCLT, Gil, King's drummer, and I have been sipping albums back and forth, coast to coast. And one of the ones that came through recently from Gil was Danger Danger's self-titled LP. I know Gil mentioned he couldn't get into it. He gave it a shot. This is 1989. Excellent album. One that I remember from high school. I love it. It's, you know, it's lumped in with hair metal, but it's along those lines. There's some silly tracks on it, but it's definitely tricky to track down on vinyl, and Gil was thoughtful enough to slip it in that last package. So Gil, thanks much, brother. It's got a happy home here. Now, I have every intention of making a metal rock metal vinyl update in the next day or so, and I'll get to that, but here's a handful of things that I picked up that don't really fit in that genre, but I wanted to make sure I show anyways. So I'll just rip through them. This is stuff over the last month or so that I've been listening to. First is the Kinks, Sleepwalker. This from 1977. I'm not usually the biggest fan of the stuff that they did on Arista later in their career, but still a decent album, and it was really inexpensive too. Here's one I thought was super cool. This is Rod Stewart and Faces Live, Coast to Coast, Overture and Beginners. Man, for me, anything Rod did that early in his career with Jeff Beck or Faces is just not to be missed, and that's a killer live record. Here was a blind buy. This is Scat Brothers, Strange Spirits. Greeno, Todd and I had some interesting texts back and forth about this one. I grabbed it because it was on a coin, and of course Bill Aucoin responsible for managing Kiss. It's upside down too, how about that? Managing Kiss, so I figured the time period, the cover, it had to be something along those lines. It's actually not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Kind of like disco rock kind of stuff. Weird. This turned up yesterday. I just listened to this today. This is Underworld, Underneath the Radar. I'm not even familiar enough to remember the title. And this is kind of it's like a slab of 80s rock. It's actually, this was pretty cool. I was surprised. I had no idea what to expect when I picked it up. It was an inexpensive blind buy, and it turned out to be kind of a lot like just an 80s rock. Definitely not metal, but not pop. Too strong for pop. Kind of in league with like Flies on Fire or something like that. Really harder edge rock from 88, 89. Good stuff. Here's Edgar Winter Group, Shock Treatment. This is one that I was missing on vinyl, so I was real happy to find this. Great 70s rock. Here's some more good rock / AOR. This is Sherbs, The Skill. This is from 1980. I had one other Sherbs album that was a blind buy, and I just absolutely loved it. So I kind of made a note that anytime I find Sherbs, I'm just going to grab it. And if you like early 80s rock, AOR, pick it up. Here's a decent copy of Humble Pie Street Rats. I didn't have this, and this is not in perfect condition. It is a promo copy, and the vinyl's in great shape. Unfortunately, the cover's a little dodged on the spine. Still a cool album, cool to have. Honeymoon Suite, this is one I never see around. This is just great. You know, it's a lot like the other one I just talked about. It's too hard for AOR, but too light for metal. It kind of traipses that line somewhere in between. Let's just call it H-A-O-R, hard AOR. I'm making up new words tonight. Anyways, their debut album, pretty cool stuff, 1984, definitely worth checking out. Nobody wants to hear LJ cough while he's doing a video. Here's Montrose, an album I've had for a long time, but this one is pretty cool, because here's one I've never seen. It's a promo copy, which I thought was absolutely cool. You know, this album actually doesn't show up all that often around here. Every now and then when it does, it tends to be dodgy and really just rag down, and it's not in good shape. So I saw the promo stamp on it, and I had to have it. Cool stuff. This is one I've never seen before. It's called Old and in the Way. I grabbed this on the back of only that I recognized that guy, and if you look hard, you will too. What it turned out to be is, well, let's see, it's just bluegrass, and okay, it's a bluegrass quest and genuine affection for the superlative acoustic blend of banjo, guitar, fiddle, mandolin, string bass, and voice. We hope you dig it. From 1974, definitely a rarity. It's on Round Records. A real interesting listen. I mean, for Jerry Garcia, who had just finished work with, New Riders of the Purple Sage, so it's kind of in that vein. Really cool record, and it looks like it's pretty rare, too. Boz Gags, I almost never buy the Boz. I mean, Breakdown, you know, we've all heard it, some good stuff, but I only grabbed this because it was his first album, which I never see lose, and you might recognize that picture if you own the Allman Brothers Band first album. That's Duane Allman. Buck naked Duane Allman. So on the back of that, it was recorded at Muscle Shoals Studios in Alabama. I had to have it. Kind of not what I was thinking. Do you know what I mean? It's not that Allman Brothers-y kind of sound, but I think it's still a keeper. I'm going to give it a couple more spins. It's not bad. Here's some cheesy early 80s AOR. This is David Kent, 1982. Total blind buy. Turned out to be pretty good. Like I said, it's just AOR. David Kent was actually, what was he? A singer, backup singer? Or a keyboard player? Something like that for Hall & Oates in the late 70s. Pretty cool stuff. Here's one that really just sucked. This is The Ascenders. Man, not good. 1983. Looking at the back, I was thinking maybe synthy AOR kind of stuff, but you know, the only thing I can tell you here is that, and it was on Boardwalk Records, which is cool. Unless somebody has to have this and they want to trade something for it, drop me a PM. Otherwise, I'm just going to turn it into a really nice inner plastic sleeve for another album. It sucked. Here's one that didn't suck. The Police Certifiable. I have to blame this one on Gil, King's drummer. He showed this in a video, and God, it must have been 3-4 months ago. I was like, oh wow, yeah. I didn't even realize an LP from that reunion tour had been released on vinyl, but here it is, and oh, fantastic set list, fantastic album. It's a 3 LP set. Here's the inner sheet that it comes with. It sounds amazing, just recorded so well. All the albums look pretty well the same, but there's the label. It says Certifiable, and I found this for a really, really good price online. I think it was Amazon. I've had this for probably 4 or 5 weeks, and I sent Gil a pic and instantly when it got here, and just thanked him for having shown it and for the recommendation. It was so good. If you're a Police fan or a live album fan, it's just I didn't get to see the tour. I actually don't ever go to many concerts, so it's just an excellent edition, great price, great document of that tour. Speaking of 80s rock, here's Fatal Flowers. Sorry. 1986, just some, again, it was another blind buy. I knew I had heard of them, but couldn't remember having heard them. So, yeah, it was, like I said, just like $3 or $4, something like that. It's on Atlantic. It's just excellent, excellent mid-80s rock, again, in that style of like a Flies on Fire or a mid to late 80s In Excess. Fantastic, fantastic. Highly recommend you check it out. 2 more here, then we'll move into a couple more different themed updates. Here's the Style Council Live. I probably had this for like 4 months. This is Style Council Home and Abroad. Style Council, I'd lump them in with that synth pop, new wave, college rock kind of stuff. Absolutely fantastic album. 1986. I know, Rob, you'd be super familiar with the Style Council. Great, great, great stuff. Worth checking out. And a sealed copy turned up, Billy Idol, Vital Idol. It's a BMG pressing. I've never been a huge fan of the album, and I have 1 copy. It's in pretty nice shape, I think. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But when a sealed copy turned up, I figured I'd grab it, kind of hang on to it with a sealed collection. And that is it as far as the update goes tonight. But like I said, stick around. Killer rock metal update coming up. Hoping one more thing comes in the mail tomorrow. Orchids Capricorn, the most recent ad that came in today, and I'm just spinning that into oblivion tonight. As soon as Van Zant's over in the background, I'm spinning into oblivion tonight. But again, thanks everyone for reaching out in the aftermath of everything that's happened this week in Boston. It means so much to me. The vinyl community is so tight. I wish we could kind of bottle it up and just sprinkle it all over. You know what I mean? Create a little more goodness in the world. But you guys, be cool, hang in there, enjoy the weekend, and hell, I'll be back before it's over anyways. Catch you guys later. Ciao.